overriding concern of the horoscope is the fulfillment of the sun sign. Your Venus represents a particular part of that quest. Her placement spells out your attractions, your value system, your sensibilities, and your decorum, who and what you decorate your life with. She's the first planet that deals specifically with your romantic love nature because what you love and what you value is shown in your choice of a romantic partner more than nearly anything else. What is Venus in Capricorn attracted to? What does she value? Reliability, achievement, advancement, the safety at the top. You see, the goat is born to climb and therefore needs a mountain. That's what their interest in structure is all about. They can't climb a vague, ambiguous fog. They can't be sure-footed on a pile of mush. The path is too uncertain if they can find a path to begin with. Therefore, Venus in Capricorn divides life and relationship up into containers so they have something to climb. When Venus is in the 10th sign, you tend to find a person who's guided by pragmatism. It's easy for them to select a mate based on mundane criteria, like a sound choice or being part of a social step up. They want a match that reflects upon them in a positive way. Venus in Capricorn hates social disapproval and will do a lot to avoid whispers about how strange their selection was. Venus in Cap cares a lot about their reputation, and why wouldn't they? This placement is obsessed with goals. They don't believe in luck. They believe that their hard work and discipline is directly related to their success. If they have it, they earned it, and they got it through their focus and their strategy. Each step on the way up the mountain came from the sweat of their brow. Does it sound like this placement is going to take a risk? Certainly not a risk in love. They move carefully because they're cautious investors at heart, and they never forget how much they've invested in everything. Are you serious? After all the work, the paying down of balances, the sacrifices, and the good moves at the right time, they're going to get with someone unstable who might crap all over the mountain of progress? Venus in Cap carries the attitude that passion is blinding. It's a drug that can cause poor decision making, so they're leery of it. They're leery of being head over heels. That's far too unstable and volatile an experience to trust. This dynamic lies behind their sober bent of mind. Sobriety is a form of preservation. If you're going to be with Venus in Cap, you have to understand and accept this about them. Some of them might take seriousness too far, but it's a survival strategy. It's tempting to characterize them as a wet blanket and not being able to let go. But the only way you get Venus in Cap to live with wild abandon is by stuffing them back in and arranging for them to be born on a different day. Life is a job. They want to do the job well and safely, and they want to leave a legacy behind when they go. This placement usually begins with a certain steadiness and then gets younger the older they get. So as they age, they generally feel more playful. But the biggest thrill for Venus in Capricorn is when they're looking at advancement and they recognize a pathway upward that nobody else has noticed. If they use their intuitions about timing together with some wisdom and the plan works out, they're fulfilled. They get a kick out of making double payments and beating their own time at whatever project they're on. Venus here is happy in a relationship when they get feedback like, "I love your ambition," and "you managed that situation masterfully." They need to feel they have a skill that nobody else has. Venus in Leo shares this desire, but the two signs come at it from different vantage points. Venus in Leo wants a special skill because it's glorious and makes them larger than life. It makes them feel unique. Venus in Cap wants a special skill because it shows they can contribute and earn their keep. They have social value. They have worth. This placement has a deep desire for expertise, to be looked up to and held in positive regard, to be respected. Self-esteem with this placement is very wrapped up in what they do and what they've taken care to cultivate over time. It hurts them a great deal if they feel torn down and ridiculed and criticized by the partner who was supposed to appreciate their competence. This placement tends to be quiet and private and even diplomatic. Diplomacy assures that goals are reached, and it's an expression of self-control that this Venus enjoys. Discipline is a big part of its positive self-concept. If you control your urges and impulses, it means you're controlling your emotional body, and that's a must if this Venus is going to see itself as a good citizen. They have a reserved air, and they tend to like friends who are a lot like them. Let's not forget, too, that this placement is associated with farming and agriculture. It has a patience that comes from a connection with the natural world, an understanding that everything has a season and a time. You don't harvest when the ground is frozen as much as you might like to, and you can't hold a season back if it's on the way. Capricorn's determination relies heavily on these understandings. Some of success is waiting. A lot of success is timing. Now, this placement gravitates toward a more traditional and tasteful decor. Old-fashioned, understated comfort and elegance, the tried and true, the lasting, rather than the edgy and avant-garde. And of course, they love to surround themselves with items and brands that bring status and say, I'm able to afford this because I've worked hard. This placement is open to tradition and history. They think the past should be preserved unless there's a damn good reason for change. And they have a natural intuition about what's expected of them. Venus in the sign of the Goat is a planner, an organizer, a saver, a manager, and a leader who must feel that they're doing their job well in order to be content. They like someone who's in a relationship for the same reason they are. They want the partner to understand them, for the two to understand each other. The Goat is loyal, and that's because it's in pursuit of sameness. And more importantly, when you become their partner, they wrap you up in all their life goals. So they would prefer if you do what you say you'll do and you are who you say you are. As an earthy Venus, this placement prefers to keep it simple. They tend to express love through logical and consistent action rather than sweeping displays of irrational romance. Cooking dinner every night is love to Venus in Capricorn. You can smell it and taste it. You can count on it. They do things all the time that they only do because you want it. What more proof of love could you ask for? Because of this attitude, you can be sure they don't fall easily for empty, sweet talk, and they generally don't promise you the world. They see reality in front of them and make decisions based on what they see. romance to Venus in Capricorn is closely related to maturity and responsibility. In the downside, you find materialism and extreme self-sacrifice, an overly responsible type, or they go in hot pursuit of goals, all of which are beneath them. It can also be that the desire to be looked up to metastasizes into a person who's all facade, all reputation, no substance, and has no sense of self beyond their achievements. Finally, it can play out as a need for control so immense, nothing spontaneous is ever allowed to happen. Life itself knocks them off their footing and overwhelms. Thank you for watching Secrets from an Astrologer's Desk. Venus in Capricorn, Venus through the air signs to come.